Hit the music.
Welcome to another episode of the Choke Slam Wrestling Report. I am your host, the infamous Ultimate One, and today we're going to talk about the Naomi and Sasha Banks situation. So, that was the biggest story of the week, and it came from WWE. I usually don't like covering WWE, but that was a big story because apparently these girls decided to leave Monday Night Raw hours before the Monday Night Raw started, and WWE was upset. They released a statement in the middle of Monday Night Raw and whatnot, and trying to explain what happened. This is not the first time, if you guys know, that a WWE wrestler has walked out. It happened with Toni Storm. Back in December, she decided she had enough after embarrassing her with the Charlotte Flair storyline, and they went along and she left and showed up at AEW a couple of months later. Jeff Hardy did the same thing. Was tired of the nonsense of him not probably jobbing out, whatever. He was tired of it, left. And here we are dealing with the same thing, but this time with the Women's Tag Team Champions. The Women's Tag Team Champions, of course, my question is, why would they were in Monday Night Raw if they were not going to defend the Women's Tag Team Championship? The story going around was that WWE needs Sasha Banks and needs Naomi to put over the respected Women's Champion in their brands. Ronda Rousey was supposed to go at it with Sasha Banks, so meaning that already Ronda Rousey has beaten Sasha Banks in the past when Rousey first came into WWE, and now you're trying to put her again with Rousey so Rousey could get over. Rousey is not getting over, and she will never get over. People are tired of Ronda Rousey, and for Ronda Rousey when she first came in to win the Royal Rumble, shows you nobody cares about Ronda Rousey. So you need Sasha Banks now. You needed Sasha Banks to put over Ronda Rousey. The same story has been said about Bianca Belair. Bianca Belair last year had a great, tremendous match with Sasha Banks at WrestleMania. And at the moment they did it was because, at that time, Black Lives Matter was big at that time. The whole stuff, the racism, all that. Put two major superstar black woman in the main event of WrestleMania, which was great. And what WWE did, they went and embarrassed Bianca Belair for 26 seconds and had Becky Lynch come out of nowhere and defeat Bianca Belair at SummerSlam. So now they're trying to correct the right and wrong. So now you go, what you do? Now you have Sasha Banks and Naomi win the tag team titles, and I believe it was in WrestleMania, and now you wanted them to go and, put over your world champions. So the story as of Monday, and I'm going to go with this because this was as of Monday, when reports came in about Miss Sasha Banks and Sasha Banks and Naomi leaving, there was a story that came in that said the real reason Sasha Banks and Naomi pretty much walked out of WWE Raw. Banks and Naomi were planned to work on a 6-way main event against Doudrop, Nikki Ash, Asuka, and Becky Lynch, which Naomi was planned to win by pinning Nikki Ash. Okay, so to earn a Raw Women's title shot against Bianca Belair at Hell in the Cell. Okay. So, however, Banks and Naomi legitimately walked out of the show, and WWE went and issued an official statement claiming that even though they had 8 hours to rehearse and construct the match, Banks and Naomi claimed they were uncomfortable in the ring with two of their opponents, even though they had matches with those individuals in the match with no consequences. So basically, you could tell the WWE issued that statement and it was full of shit. I'm sorry, it was full of shit. Why would they? They've been in the ring with these women, so all of a sudden they're not, they feel that they're uncomfortable to work in the ring? Really? So according to an update that came out from Fightful Select, the two stories that Banks and Naomi had pitched defending the Women's Tag Team Championship against Nikki Ash and Doudrop at Hell in the Cell. But the pitch was rejected. This is not the first time WWE rejects a pitch from somebody because they feel like they know better than their wrestlers. So, with that being said, then WWE blames that Sasha Banks was the one, this was in the middle of the week, was the one who influenced Naomi to walk out. And the only reason they came out with that is because, number one, they cannot punish Naomi because Naomi happens to be one of the Usos brothers' wife. And if you mess around with the Anoa'i family or the Samoa dynasty, it's not going to go well for you at all. Because the Samoan dynasty, and I told this to the host of the Turnbuckle tabloid, Jay Santee, that I always feel that the Samoans have control of Vince McMahon. They say, well, what our family members are doing, this is what you're going to do. I mean, it's been known. It's been known for that. So, I mean, let's go back at Royal Rumble 2014 when Roman Reigns won the Rumble, but his father wasn't happy about it, and they made a big shit out of it. So they're not going to punish Naomi at all. Sasha Banks is going to get the blame for most of it. And you'd be surprised because you figure, hey, Naomi, not surprising Naomi, but more of Sasha Banks, the cousin of Snoop Doggy Dogg. You figure you don't want to mess with that because that's mainstream stuff. And that's not a good look. But they don't care. They've been shitting on Sasha Banks for years. This woman had title reigns that lasted only a month or 4 weeks or 3 weeks until the last one she had. It lasted a couple of months. Okay? So the fact that they are now blaming everything on on Sasha, it shows you. They know they fucked up. They know they messed up. They came with an idea. You didn't pitch it. They pitched it, and you were like, no. And they won, and they ended up going to John Laurinaitis and dropped the titles on his desk and left. Those titles don't mean shit anyway. The tag team division and the women's tag team division, there's no such division. There's only like two teams. Okay? They took those belts away from Carmella and Vega. For what? The women's division, this is funny because Becky Lynch said that the women's division in WWE is better than AEW, but yet their division only solely right now they cater to now Ronda Rousey and Bianca Belair. And Ronda Rousey, don't get me started with that. But, it is crazy. It is crazy. That they actually did this. They went out there, they didn't care about nothing. They didn't care, they win and they walked out. But now, Naomi's not going to get punished. Actually, I put my money that Naomi is going to end up being in the bloodline somewhere within next month. And Sasha Banks will be by herself and they're going to put in shitty situations and she's going to be losing matches because that's what WWE does. They punish their people. They punish their stars when they confront authority. Hey, all you have to look is at Mustafa Ali. Mustafa Ali didn't like something. They send him home. He wanted his release. They didn't want to release him because they scared. They know that if they release him, he'll show up in AEW. Okay? Which I think AEW should stop freaking signing every guy that they have because it's ridiculous already with that. You got guys who are not happy in AEW either. We'll talk about that later. But as far as is concerned with this Naomi stuff, I'm telling you, Naomi and Sasha Banks, I put my money. Naomi's going to end up with the bloodline. She'll be safe. Sasha Banks is going to take the punishment for this. Okay? She's going to take the punishment of this because it's going to be, there's going to be consequences to pay. McMahon don't like you crossing him. And McMahon likes to keep everybody unchecked. And the fact that he's doing whatever he wants, he doesn't care because the man has money. All he's worrying about is making sure that he caters to his stockholders. He doesn't care about the fans. He definitely don't care about his wrestlers. He don't care about anything. Okay, Mustafa Ali, Sasha Banks, those two are going to get punished for that. Sasha Banks, they're not going to release her. No, hell no, they're not going to release her. Because they know if they release either Naomi or Sasha Banks, AEW is going to pick them up. And that's what Vince McMahon don't want to happen. He doesn't want that to happen. You know what I'm saying? So, there's a lot of stuff going on. But with the Mustafa Ali situation, he had the nerve to say that he wants championship belts. He needs to be put in pay-per-views. Dude, are you high? You smoking your own stuff? Well, they're not putting you nowhere. They're not. They're not going to do that. You bugging. You just like on some La La Land stuff. But the whole Naomi Sasha Banks situation, Mickie James gave a little her little input on this, talking about that these girls had have passion, and you can't take away from the value that they have been over merchandise sales and talent and ability and love and passion for the business. That's probably more about what this is unpacking it all. If they were pouring their love into something and feeling like it wasn't value, that's very frustrating. And I agree. I agree with Mickie James, even though Mickie James, went and tried to, come back at the Rumble with the Impact Knockouts title, and everybody was going crazy talking about, oh my God, WWE's in the forbidden door business. No, that whole thing was just bring back Ronda Rousey, make more eyes to come to the product, because they know that nobody was going to care about the Women's Royal Rumble because they brought mostly divas, and that was the worst women's Royal Rumble I ever seen since the inception of the Women's Royal Rumble. So at the end of the day, again, Tommy Dreamer made a comment also, which I don't care about what Tommy Dreamer has to say, because what Tommy Dreamer says don't matter. He says that Tommy Dreamer clarified that he wasn't sure if WWE could trust working with them after this incident. Does anybody care what Tommy Dreamer has to say? This guy's he's a WWE shield, just like Bubba Ray. These guys, they make sure they're in good graces with the WWE in case WWE calls them for them to show up at the Hall of Fame induction, whatever, because that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. But it's crazy. It's crazy. Mustafa Ali again. He said, "I need championships. I need to be in more pay-per-views." You're not gonna be in a pay-per-view, and if you're being a pay-per-view, you're gonna be some squash thing. They're gonna beat you up, and they're gonna leave you there. There's also word, and this is coming from AEW. From WWE. Nick Khan will be taking over Stephanie McMahon's duties in her absence, and according to multiple people at WWE, select business partners have already been informed. She left, and everybody was already talking about maybe she went home to take care of Triple H and his situation. But Triple H, as of today, has returned. He has returned back to WWE, where he's going to be in backstage stuff. So he is back. So I don't know what that's going to do. I don't know if they're going to be part of the talents. It's going to be part of the booking, but we will see. We will see. Let's go to other news right now. Other news going around before I start with AEW. Jim Ross announced he signed a contract extension with AEW. That is cool, but I would rather have Mono Ronaldo as part of the commentating team with Excalibur and Tony Schiavone, but Jim Ross will do for now, so that is cool. There is word going around that AAA Mega Champion Hijo del Vikingo is about to make his AEW debut, and this is according to AAA Worldwide, who shared a video featuring Vikingo, Matt, and Nick Jackson, the Young Buck shot following a Triple Mania 30 in Monterrey on April 30th. The Young Bucks defeated Vikingo and Rey Fenix in a tag team main event. And in the new video this has popped out, Matt and Nick taunt Vikingo, suggesting that they should challenge for the AAA Mega title now. And they said Matt then pitched for the champion to pay AEW a visit before Nick teased Kenny Omega's return. the Kenny Omega return, according to Dave Meltzer, which I don't care for Dave Meltzer because 95% of the time he's wrong. Kenny Omega is not coming anytime soon. There's no timetable, but there was a report that he was backstage and he's booking the women's division, booking their matches. So who knows? Maybe you could see Don Callis come out of nowhere and start again planting the seed that he did back at Revolution, talking about Kenny Omega. There's got to be a match between Adam Cole and Kenny Omega. That's going to happen. May not happen this month. It may happen during the summer, but anything is possible. So that is so cool, man. I would like to see that. That would be nice. Will Ospreay, the man, Will Ospreay from New Japan, shows some love to Impact Wrestling on Twitter. He wrote, "Man, it should be shouted out when it's positive. But I remember when people were kind of giving up on Impact Wrestling. It's actually that cool to see them weather that storm and come out the other side. They got a sick roster, sick women's division, sick tag division, just nailing it." I mean, I don't know about sick tag division. The women's division is all right. Their roster is decent. Even though they just lost Jonah, they didn't sign him. They stuck with PCO. But it's decent. I haven't watched Impact in a while since I think Revolution or whatever it was. I forgot the last paper they had. It wasn't that great. That that Gauntlet Elimination 8 tag team, that shit was just, that was bad. So with that, I mean, they still got. I still want to watch its anniversary because it'll be the 20th year, and I want to see what they're gonna do. But it is what it is. Johnny Impact, who's now known as, not Johnny Drip Drip, Johnny Elite. Update on his AEW status following his Dynamite debut. As per PW Insider, Johnny Elite is not signed to the promotion as of yet, but the door is open for future appearance down the line. That would be real cool to see Johnny Impact, Johnny Mundo, whatever you want to call him, in the AEW. But I guess he's leaving his options open and not try to try to rush or whatever. Because his wife, I know, I think she just won the Reina Championship, beating Diana Purrazzo and whatnot. And I didn't know that Steve Macklin and Diana Purrazzo were a couple. I just found out when I started following her. I was shocked. I didn't know they were a couple, but whatever. But anyway, AEW Dynamite this week was all right. It wasn't all that, and it was a lot. It's a lot of disappointment when I looked at it. The opening match was a surprise because Johnny Elite was the Joker. He came out. This match was pretty good, but Samoa Joe won the match, and he beat Johnny Elite with the Muscle Buster. But after the match, Santara Singh, whatever his name is, came out with Jay Lethal and I forgot the other guy's name, Sanjay Dutt, and they attack Samoa Joe. They hit him with the pipe on his shoulder. So I don't know what's gonna happen next week. He's supposed to wrestle next week for the semifinals of the Owen Hart tournament. So these guys are going to get involved. They're going to cost Samoa Joe the match, most likely. So that was all right. Then you saw CM Punk come out, and he was part of the announcing team. They had a match between Hangman and Tanzka. I think that's what I called them, from DDT. This match was pretty good. There was a lot of close pinfalls in this match, but Hangman Page insulted kind of CM Punk when he used his GTS move to beat his opponent that night. And then they had a confrontation in the rampway, pretty much setting up Double or Nothing. So don't be surprised next week. There's nothing about these two showing anything. Keith Lee and Swerve had a match with Anthony Henry and Blake, what is it called? The Workmen's. but they got squashed in this match, only to just set up another match for Double or Nothing, which is going to be a 3-way match between Jurassic Express, Powerhouse Hobbs, and Ricky Starks, and Swerve and Keith Lee. So the titles are going to be, don't be surprised. Most likely, these guys, Jurassic Express, are losing the belts because I could see Christian turning on them. The MJF promo, which they had supposedly have a Warlord gave the 10 lashes. That was very disappointing, to be honest. I thought that this was a cheap imitation of what happened with Cody Rhodes about 2 years ago when they did it. It wasn't all that, and they made Warlord not look that. I mean, they made him look powerful by taking the 10 lashes, but then MJF went and kicked him in the nuts, and then Sean Spears went and hit him up with the C4 Spicoli driver, and they laid him out, and that was the end of that. Nothing out of that. Roppongi Vice then came out in a promo challenging FTR for the Ring of Honor Tag Team titles. That's going to be cool. I would like to see that match. Kyle O'Reilly versus Ray Phoenix, part of the Owen Hart match tournament. This was a war between these two guys. That was a great match. I would recommend you guys to see it, but Kyle O'Reilly ended up making Ray Phoenix tap out. He was working on Phoenix's arm, the one that his elbow came out. So that was the story on that match. Pretty good between these two. There was hard-hitting kicks, all kinds of stuff. So that was, I think, the match of the night for me. The Chris Jericho versus William Regal match, not match, but the meeting was not all that. It was just a setup for the it's not going to be a Stampede, Stadium Stampede. They're going to do the Bloods and Guts. They haven't announced it, but it's going to be 5-on-5. You're going to have Jericho, the 2.0, Garcia, and Hager against the Deadpool Combat Club and Santana Ortiz and Kingston. So the one that's missing from the Combat Club is, of course, Wheeler Yuta, but he's in Japan in the Best of Super Junior. So nothing out of that came out. Only the Jericho kind of insulted William Regal of his past, and that was it. Britt Baker versus Maki Ito. Maki Ito was the Joker. I found this was an embarrassment. This woman, I don't know why the hell they bring Maki Ito back. That girl, I do not like her. She's animation. She doesn't bring nothing to the table. She's just a clown. And I'm surprised. I don't know why they did this, but Britt Baker, to be honest, should not be in this match with dealing with Maki Ito. She ended up beating Maki Ito anyway. The Serena Deebs comes out to confront Tony Schiavone. I don't know why. Only for her to talk about that they didn't give her the props. They think that she can't beat Thunder Rosa. Dustin Rhodes comes out. He gets confronted by her also. Thunder Rosa comes out. And they had to hold her back. She hits Dustin Rhodes in the jaw by mistake. And then Deebs took the belt and hit Thunder Rosa with it. Nothing came out of that. The Jeff Hardy versus Adam Cole match. This was very short because they were running out of time. And ended up Adam Cole winning the match by hitting the boom on Jeff Hardy. After that, the Young Bucks come out. The Hardys confronted the Young Bucks. Adam Cole attacked the Hardys from behind with a double clothesline. Then Sting and Darby Allin comes in to help them. And then all of a sudden you got the Young Bucks and the Red Dragon come in and pretty much took out Sting, Darby Allin, and everybody else. So it wasn't all that, to be honest. I mean, and I won't give you a Rampage because today is Friday, and I'm not gonna have time to talk about that. Whatever. But at this, to be honest, this they didn't even make the million. They didn't do the million mark and whatnot. So it wasn't something that you expected. I don't know. I don't know what the hell is going on with Dynamite, but I think they're overproducing a lot of stuff. You didn't need to bring Maki Ito at all. Okay, and this thing with Warlord getting whipped, just the same thing. That same storyline that happened with Dustin Rhodes. So we'll see. Anyway, that is it for me now. And guys, check me out on my podcast. on the audio podcast. You can find me on the audio podcast on Apple, Spotify, and Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and all that stuff. And check me out. Also check my store, the Chokeslam Wrestling Report store, tcwr.veryimpressive.com. That's tcwr.veryimpressive.com. And you can follow me on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter and whatnot. And you can follow me there. So let me know what you think of this video. Leave me your comments. And I will see you guys next week.